no one's gonna see this. This is a rant video. Lock Nation, this has nothing to do with you. I've talked to multiple people, and this is just an opinion I've had for a while. So if you watch this video thinking after a conversation, no, this isn't really, but this is just because I've seen a lot of people, I mean, a lot of people say Kyrie's the most skilled player. No. I want to first say this, though. Just because someone of authority says something, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Also, you don't have to take my opinion, too. Again, there are many differing opinions. However, though, I think for the case of Steph, I think his arguments are higher than Kyrie's, but for some whatever reason, Kyrie gets the title as the most skilled. Now, I have reasons for this. Why, though? For starters, I think it's the way Kyrie plays. Now, the way someone plays, you obviously dictates on who's the most skilled. But then I would then argue, what is skill then? Like, that's my confusion too. Because is it being the better player? No, obviously not. So a lot of what Kyrie does, I think also another part is that Kyrie's athleticism is underrated in my opinion. His athleticism is underrated. That's what I'm getting at. And this is more, and this video is going to be more, actually it's both. It's Kyrie being overrated and Steph being the most skilled. So it's both. I'm making a second video because, dog, I've been just talking to so many people and they're all saying Kyrie's the most skilled. Even NBA players are. So I want to also address that too. The reason why I also do think that Steph doesn't get that crown over Kyrie is just because of how he plays, that's why. Like, this is the thing I also hate too. Like, people, like, I've seen some people say Jordan doesn't have a bag or LeBron doesn't have a bag. They have bags, right? It's the way they use it too. So it's another conversation where it's like, what does having a bag mean? Because I also see the conversation where it's like, you want to use limited moves and whatnot to get to your spot. So then I would argue that Curry does that better than Kyrie, but yet because Kyrie does more of the things, and that means he's more skilled. Like, I know that's not what people are saying. I watched a lot of Kyrie, I watched a lot of Curry, and the reason why I say Curry is more skilled is I just think the way he actually plays is better than Kyrie does. And the reason why I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me is just play style. That's why. That's literally it. Like, in the games, how Kyrie does his things versus Curry. What Kyrie struggles and what Curry does. Let me ask you this. I'm actually gonna use the shooting argument this time. I will actually use the shooting argument this time, as well as the playmaking or the playmaking thing. Because if we're just arguing, oh, Kyrie is just a more skilled scorer, then I'm thinking like, okay, then why don't we say Jordan? Because Kyrie doesn't use his athleticism as much as Jordan does. But then I would also argue that Kyrie uses his athleticism more than Curry does. You see how this works, and then the level of gauges or whatever. So the reason why I think Kyrie is so overrated is just because people act like it's just not close at all. Like, you can have your arguments, but to say it's not close, it's just, oh man, it's like y'all are just pocketing, cherry picking skills that you want to see as just most skilled when you ignore other factors. I'm really frustrated because I'm just seeing it so much. I saw a take where it was like Kyrie is a better player than Chris Paul. Like, what? No, bro. And now we have to go into semantics and everything. We have to go into so much shit, and it's just like, oh man. It's like when people saying Jamal Crawford is like a top 5 ball handler. No, okay. When we mention like Kyrie's post footwork, we mentioned his finishing, right? Like, okay, yeah, it doesn't rely on athleticism as much as jumping and dunking the ball, but I would also say the same thing for shooting. Oh, it's just because it's harder. That's what. Like, what? Like, also, we have to manage on what skills actually matter the most and what not. Because, okay, let's take for example, like Jamal Crawford, right? He's a better ball handler than, like, let's say let me use another guard for example. I want to say like I don't want to use athleticism that much because I was gonna say like Clyde Drexler, but then we could just use the athleticism argument. Like, let's just say for example Jamal Crawford's more skilled than I'm trying to think of like John Havlicek, for example, right? Different eras, different times, right? Like, I would say like ball handling wise. But again, impact, defense, and whatever, right? But then I would then argue like what skills are most impactful? What skills actually matter? Because if we want to say most skill with the ball handling or whatever, then we could just argue like the professor's the most, or whatever street ball handler is the most skilled of all time, and even people would try to make that argument too. But if we're talking about NBA, then fuck it, I'm just saying Isaiah Thomas because he's 5'9". Like, you see how that fucking works? Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Hell, Jalen Brunson is more skilled than Kyrie, but no, because of the way Kyrie plays and the way Steph plays. That is why Kyrie will always have the more skilled over Steph. And like I said, like, if you want to say I don't know basketball, fine. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about your opinion because I know enough to say that Curry is more skilled. I know enough. And if you want to say because James Harden said that, like, yeah, they played right, but then also you have to remember people have biases too. Like Shaq. Like, are we really listening to what Shaq says? No. Even Julius Irving's top 10, Julius Irving, he had Nate Archibald in there. Because biases, that's why. There were certain biases. Like, we're talking about legit in the game, the logistics of the game, right? Then we would say, like, if we're talking, if we're talking about the logistics of the game, right? Like, the things that matter and the things that don't, then they'll know more, right? But then everyone has their biases because they don't give a fuck, that's why. NBA players do not care. They're not having a discussion. See, I don't understand like why we can't just have these conversations. I want to have this conversation too. The fact is, I think it's honestly the finishing too. Like, the way Kyrie finishes, yes, but I think Curry's finishing gets underrated because of his size. But if we actually see like how they both attack the basket, like, Curry relies more on his actual skill than Kyrie does. People don't want to admit, but Kyrie's an athlete, y'all. Kyrie's athletic, and he might not be like a Blake Griffin or whatever. Obviously not, but they're guards, y'all. Like, we're talking about guards. And it's like the only really good athletic guards I could think of is like Westbrook, D Rose, but the rest of the well-rounded guards are not going to be as athletic as wings. Like, so we're comparing guards to each other. And I also do think it's just because his usage rate is very high. That's why. But and then again, I would say also Curry too, and also Kyrie has the ball a lot for someone who doesn't really initiate the offense as he should. This is why this shit is so stupid. Because then we're arguing like this, like he's just the way like he's more skilled in overall things, but then the impact doesn't matter. But again, I've also heard people say, well, yes, Curry is the more impactful and better basketball player, because, well, basketball, but Kyrie's more skilled. But then now we're arguing, like, what the fuck are we arguing now? Because when we're arguing more skilled, we're talking about skilled in basketball, y'all. And I know my comments are just going to be like, oh, this player said, if you're going to have to use player testimony, your argument is weak, that's why. And this is why I don't think, this is the reason why I don't think I'll convince people. Because Curry's just so fucking great at shooting threes that I'm arguing he's a better ball handler. I'm arguing that. That's actually probably a hot take. I'm arguing that. But to say it's not even close. Wow, that, to me, that is actually, to not even say it's close. Curry, if you want to argue, you can argue anything, but if we're using, like, actual evidence that we can find on clips based on criteria or not, I would argue that Curry is more closer to skill in Kyrie than other shooters are to Curry. Like, it's just what it is. Because, again, of the way we do things, right? Like, there's so many different factors. And honestly, I think this has just gone really far because also, like, the way the game is played too, right? Like, you want to say Isaiah Thomas, for example, right? Or Allen Iverson, right? Again, the way things are played, the way certain play styles, there's different ways to gauge, but then now it comes to the argument where it's like in basketball, what skills are most important or what's not. Again, this is the reason why I think I say NBA players will say this, is because they value, they will, whatchamacallit, a lot of NBA players will value the complexity of things, right? Because to be honest, a lot of NBA players are just athletes, right? They'll also value like the way it looks too. That's just my opinion. That's the reason why Curry, I don't think, gets his recognition. again, a lot of this is just opinions, but to say it's not even an argument, because like I've seen like fans argue that like Kyrie's even better than like is a top 30 player. Like that's just fucking ridiculous. No. So now my thing is that what people view as skill is just fucking dumb. Because if you want to say Kyrie has the best jellies, oh fine, whatever. But then I want to argue Jordan has the better jellies than Kyrie. I mean, to be fair, Kyrie's size and the way he gauges or not, okay. But then that also has to do with athleticism too. And yeah, Curry and Kyrie are nowhere near athletes as like LeBron. Like, but we're doing apples and whatever now. I would say Kyrie's probably a top 10 for sure. Now, the only players I could really make argument for probably Iverson. This is gonna be guards, by the way, and they're probably better players. But overall, if you're the better player, you're most likely the more skilled player. Because again, basketball is not about who you are; it's about what you do. Okay, like we see fucking I could just say fucking Mac McClung is a more skilled. You know how dumb that sounds though. Or I can say hell Calvin Murphy or whatever. Like fuck it. Like, but no, it's about what you actually do. Okay, this is why, and then this is why I'm against odds. This is why y'all don't have opinions. Y'all just listen to whoever you want. Because a lot of y'all are gonna say I have a bad take. It's not a bad take, but because y'all are overrating the fuck out of Kyrie, you think it's a bad take. But I could actually use logical reasoning. Your reasoning is just because he could do left hand hook shots. Okay, if that's the case, if Kyrie has his forward, if Kyrie has the touch off the layup, isn't shooting also the most like skillful thing you can do in basketball? See, this is why I'm like so frustrated, because the amount of I'm a Curry fan, by the way. Now, yeah, I'm a Curry fan. You know what? And if you're saying I'm biased towards Curry, no, I'm not. I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time. He's a top 10 player. And if you're saying I'm biased because I'm saying Curry, no, because also y'all are saying these things, but you also realize there are other skills in basketball that have to do with the ball that actually matter. Okay? It's like Tim Duncan, right? Bro, ball knowers know that Tim Duncan could have scored more. He's skilled, but he's boring, right? Like, y'all, why would the fuck would Curry literally go dribble, and do all this random shit when he could just shoot the three? Like, y'all are seeing what Kyrie does, but also the limited samples we see of Curry, and I don't think it's even limited examples of Curry. It's just better opportunity creation for the team, right? Because your argument is that Kyrie does this and that, but I'm also arguing that Curry could do things better. It's just that he does shooting better. So it's like this. Let's say, for example, the skill in the ball movement, right? I would argue Curry's better than Kyrie, but that's a really hard argument, right? But then I would also argue that Curry does better because he's also a smarter player. Now, what actually matters though? Oh, the way you use the ball, but also doesn't IQ matter? Because a lot of the times, bro, Kyrie, bro, like he's not a good initiator offense. He needs a set. In order for his skill to thrive, he needs another first option. What happened when he got to Boston? What happened his first 3 years? To be fair, he was a rookie, but what happened? He didn't play as well. He just didn't. He fucking sucked. And the reason why I say this is because we're comparing him to Stephen fucking Curry. That's why. I don't know why NBA players discredit Curry so much. This is more about people discrediting Curry. I think Curry is, for someone who is a top 10 player and people put him in there, he is still hella underrated for some fucking reason. I don't know why. Like, Curry is literally one of the most discredited players of all. Like, I don't know why though. Like, I legitimately just do not know why he gets discredited this much. And to me, it is really tiresome. It is really tiresome, and I am fucking sick of it. I am sick of it. And if you all just want to say NBA players, motherfucker, and Tyrese Halliburton was voted the most overrated. Like, again, maybe these aren't the best examples, but I'm just using examples off the top of my head. I could, like, bro, like, are we dead ass serious, bro? Like, there's NBA players back then, or well, I don't want to say back then, or we'll say now, but there's like, when NBA players make bad takes. Like, I don't care if they're high level. Like, people are still wrong. They're still wrong. They don't actually, because Curry's so great at shooting. It's like, it's weird because NBA players want to play politics, right? It's like they don't want to necessarily really discredit anyone. That's what, because they're politically trained. That's what literally you could look at all NBA. They're not gonna really trash someone. So they're not. They want to say Kyrie's the most skilled because they want to uplift his skills and give him credit. But for Curry, he's so great at shooting that we could still admit. But again, that's also why it's also discrediting him too, because I just think Curry's is that great. Like, bro, even if you want to argue Kyrie's a more skilled ball handler, then I would also argue that the way Curry even finishes is like surmountable than the shooting. But then like we just did like also we just discredit that too. Like, so I don't know, bro. Maybe it's just Curry's not as athletic. Because if we notice, literally the reason why Curry can't do some things like is athleticism. That's why. But Curry still finds ways because of skill and IQ in order to impact the game. Okay, just because Kyrie could do a jelly, like a left hand jelly off the right side, that doesn't mean he's more skilled than Curry. Like, I'm actually really frustrated because this is, oh man, oh this is just, y'all overrate the fuck out of him, bro. And if y'all think I'm saying a bunch of nothing, challenge me on it. Challenge me. Go ahead. We're going to Discord call right now. Add me. Challenge me on any of this. If you make it through the full video, I doubt you would. Challenge me then. If you think it's not close, challenge me. If you think it's not a worth discussion, too bad. Because you're just fucking wrong. You're just wrong. If it's not even close. I don't care what other high-level minds say. Because you know why? Those high-level minds would also say there's a comparison, that's why. I guarantee you there's a comparison. They just... See, yo... see... I don't think I'm going to win this, but I just want to conclude, okay? Because, Jesus fucking Christ, bro. This has just stressed me the fuck out. Ugh. Kyrie's a great player. Obviously. Steph is just a better player. The things Kyrie does is very impressive. Because the only reason I say he's top 10 is because, again, there's a lot of players you have to look through and whatever. It's just because the way Kyrie plays. That's literally the only reason. And it's just because the way the Steph plays. It's literally the only reason. But if you actually look at the games on like what they actually do, Curry's skill, he's more skilled. Okay? He has more things to do. He can't because he gets fucking doubled. That's why. Like, see, this is Kyrie. If we will actually watch the games, Kyrie doesn't get that double like as much as people. No, he does not. Like, he's able to. See, this is why this shit frustrates me. That's why. And people don't even want the discussion because they're in their mind. It's like, oh, I know more than someone else does. No, and I'm not saying I know more than NBA players. They know, but I know enough to know this is a stupid take. Just because an NBA player, just because someone's smarter than you, that doesn't mean they know everything better than you. That's just not like if you're gonna be that narrow-minded, I don't even want to talk to you at all. There's no point. Like, I'm just gonna live my life, get more athletic, play basketball, do my own thing, and move on. I'm just right, bro. And the reason why I say I'm right is because I compared to you. I'm right compared to you because I could actually use logical reason. And some people might too, but then I could combat them better because I'm just a better debater. Again, a lot of these are just opinions, right? And people could be wrong or right, but I don't know. Yeah, I said a lot. I'm gonna end it. So yeah, peace.